All right, this is a problem. I tried to make another recording and then I realized that it's probably not what you would actually do on a test. So we have the rectangle and we know the width, we'll just call it W, and then it says the diagonal, which is the diagonal is always from one vertex of a polygon to another. They told us that that's 5. And then they told us that the length is 1 inch longer than the width. So I did W plus 1. And then by definition of a rectangle, this is a right angle. All corners are right angles in a rectangle. So we know that this green highlighted bit is a right triangle. Pythagorean theorem tells us that one leg squared plus the other leg squared. So the legs form the right angle. And those squared added together equals the hypotenuse squared. The hypotenuse is always across from the right angle. Another good fact to know is that it is the longest. So I plugged those in and started solving. I did W plus 1 quantity squared using the FOIL method over here, and I realized that it was messy. And because it's multiple choice, I would suggest using the guess and check method. So using this formula, because we know it is a right angle. We can automatically, so the hypotenuse is always the longest. There will never be a side or leg equal to or longer. So I'm going to go ahead and cross 5 inches as an option off the list. Additionally, it says that we're looking for the width, and the length is 1 inch longer than the width. So if the length were 4 inches, then the width were 4 inches, then the length would be 4 plus 1, which is 5. But that can't be true because the diagonal is 5 inches. Again, that hypotenuse is the longest side. So we're going to cross 4 inches off the list. And then we only have 2 options to choose. So again, this is the width. So if 2 is the width, then 2 squared, and then the length would be 2 plus 1, which is 3 squared. That has to equal 5 squared, which is 25. I'll write it 5 squared. All right. If this is the answer, so the width is 3, so 3 squared, I'm using the Pythagorean theorem here off to the right, this formula. And then the length has to be 3 plus 1, which is 4 squared. And then that has to equal 5 squared. So whichever one of these is true gives us the right answer. 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 9 plus 4 is not 25, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, and 9 plus 16 is 25, so the answer would be B.